Howdy y'all, this big country survival. um, I'm going through, and this is just some of the books in my library. Not all are preparedness related, but I'm going to go through them. Alright, these are just a couple examples of some Louis L'Amour westerns. Just thin little westerns. I'm a big Louis L'Amour fan. Ever since I was a kid, this was actually the first Louis L'Amour book that I ever read, The Burning Hills. I would recommend that as a good read. Mustang Man's another good one, and I've got so many of them. I could do probably 2 videos on just Louis L'Amour westerns. But those are good books. If you want to read, you can pause it. You want to read that. Same with this one. I'm not going to take the time to read it all out. Alright, I'm going to get to the preparedness books here. This is Unfiltered. This is a book Phil Robertson wrote. Okay, there we go. That should be clear enough if you want to pause it. And that's a good recommended read. It's more of a social commentary book. This is a handy book for me, being a Christian. Where to find it in the Bible, ultimate A to Z. I mean, there's, like discipleship. All the places where discipleship is mentioned in the Bible, things like that. Debauchery, debate. I think prepare is actually in this as well, or preparedness is actually in this book as well. But I haven't actually looked at it in this book. This is a Bible I had overseas with me. It is a King James Version military Bible. So anyway, it's a King James Bible, but then it's got it's seen from where. Like there's the Marine Corps hymn. It's got the prayer for the Navy, Lord's Prayer for a military wife, things like that as well in the back. I had a buddy sent this to me, and that was my nickname on ship. It's actually been a nickname that's kind of followed me my whole life, and so he had the lettering done. Big country. So this rides in my truck with me. If I got some time to stop and read, before I go in for work, or if I'm waiting in traffic or something, I'll just pick that up and I'll read it some. All right, now we're gonna get more into our survival books. No better book there. Like, you don't need any of these other books, in my opinion. Well, okay. Anyway, this is the Erb Book by John Lust. There's kind of the about it on the back. It's got a list of like St. John's wort, description of the plant, and then what it's good for treating. It shows you how to make tells you how to make like a tincture, a salve, a few other things like that. This is an older book. Let's see. I don't actually know the publication date. Published 1974. So this book's been out there for a while. It's a good book. This one natural and medicinal cures. This goes through, like, the first half of it is plants and, like, like prunes. Talks about prunes and the things that it can help with, pumpkin, things like that. And then there's vitamins, like talks about bioflavonoids and beta carotene and boron, and then it actually goes into like antibiotics, things like that, things to use them for everything. This is actually copied 1994, and so that's a good one if you want to want to pause that, read that, you can. When There Is No Doctor by Gerard S. Doyle, MD. This is a pretty decent one. It's got some good stuff in it. If you want to pause it and read about it, go right ahead. Les Stroud Survive. Essential skills and tactics to get you out of anywhere alive. Right? It's not bad. It's actually got some illustrations and things of how trap and snare small game. Wild edibles. Couple of wild edibles. Different environments, things like that. If you want to pause and read this, you can. Go right ahead. And then the SAS Survival Handbook, John Lofty Wiseman. This is a good book. I've had this one for a little while. And it's got a little bit of everything from wilderness survival and making weapons, trapping, how to track, and it even goes into urban prepping and prepping for nuclear disaster as well, and survival in the aftermath of a nuclear disaster. It actually even goes into, I'm not going to find it, but it goes into how, like if you've got so many feet of concrete or so much thick of concrete, that will reduce radiation by like 50%, things like that. Because in theory, with radiation, you can't actually block it all out, but you can minimize it. So those are just a few things. I've got another book in here. Might be interested. This is actually something that we got the church I used to go to. It was a Sunday school Bible study. Faith Commander. Might be worth a look. In conjunction, of course, with the old King James or NIV. I'm not going to get into arguing what's the more holy Bible. I just prefer the King James myself. Alright, so that's some of my books, some of my library. I don't have a whole lot of prepper fiction. I didn't feel like digging all of it out. I have like the Patriots series by J.W. Rawls. It's like Patriots, Survivors, Founders, and Expatriates. Those are all good books to read. They're all pretty good read. So, hey, and I tell you guys this. I'm bringing this stuff up part because these are all, okay. I wouldn't go so far as to say I recommend this, and I wouldn't go so far as to say you have to have this, although it is a good read. But you know, pretty much the rest of these. I mean, this is a good one. It just wasn't what I was hoping it was when I got it. Um, but you know, I would recommend most of these books here to read. And you know what? You're gonna need um, to have hardbacks. And why do I list this this fiction here? Because you know, we need fiction from time to time. We need something to go through. You know, like these Louis L'Amours. We need books like that. That's what they had back in, you know, the day before internet and before TV. I mean, you had books and you read books, and that was your entertainment. And so these little, you know, I guess you could call them like dime novels. I really do enjoy them, you know, and it's a quick read, but it's a very enjoyable read and gets you to think. Not a huge Zane Grey fan. I like Louis L'Amour a bit better. But I like my westerns and I like some prepper fiction. But most of my books are what you would call the non-fiction category. All right. Hope this was something good. Hope this helps y'all, gives y'all some ideas. Till next time, this is Big Country Survival, signing out, and God bless.